If I asked you to teach me, would you tell me your ways?
Hey everyone, it's Minty, and in this video I asked my subscribers to send in their original characters for me to draw in my art style. The first character was sent in by Leah, and her full name is Calliope Reyes, but just Callie for short. Firstly, that's an adorable name and it goes perfectly with her design. I love it. She has a pretty long backstory, but here's a quick summary. She grew up switching between foster homes because the families couldn't handle her high energy and rebelliousness. At 16, she got a scholarship to a boarding school in another country, and then from then on she decides to change her life around, focusing on her grades and impressing other people. But eventually the pressure is just too much and she ends up learning that she can try her best, but she doesn't need to hide who she really is. It's just a really sweet story and definitely has a coming of age theme, so thank you Leah to sending this in because the story is very interesting and I love her design. I decided to only go with portraits for each of the characters and not full bodies just because I wanted to get more in and fill up the page. So yeah, that's kind of a shame because the characters did have really interesting outfits, but I also love focusing on the face, and especially with Callie, drawing the hair was so fun. I feel like I don't draw blonde hair that often, so it was nice to switch it up a little bit. Okay, let's move on to the next character. This one was sent in by Strawberry's Art Corner, and as you can see, she's a mermaid, which is a little bit different, but again, I didn't get to include that because I just did the face, which is kind of a shame, but I still enjoyed drawing it anyways. This one doesn't have a name, so if you have any suggestions for it in the comments, then I'm sure that the creator of this OC would appreciate that. She's a young mermaid who is heir to the throne of her kingdom. She does not like to follow the rules, but is perceived as perfect by her whole kingdom. That's what this person said. So yeah, it's about like her struggles of being a mermaid princess, which I think is pretty fun. The reference that I was sent had the eyes closed, so I decided to do that as well since I wouldn't be able to tell what the actual eye color was. So yeah, I just went with the closed eyes, and I think that was pretty fun because I don't do that very often since I love drawing eyes. I can't remember if I used a reference for the face, but I think I did because it turned out really pretty, even though my mum said it looked like she was, you know, unalive because of the purple shading I did as well, but I don't agree. I think it looks very alive and well and pretty, so yeah, let me know what you think about that one. Since it was just a simple face, I decided to add some interest by kind of hollowing out the earrings so that there's like a hole in the center, and I think that looks pretty cool. Also, I went with a slightly lighter lip color because I don't tend to do bright red lips that often. The next OC was sent in by Bethany Moore, and I just love this one. I love the art style. It's all very cottagecore themed, and she says that she's a princess, but she doesn't really like being a princess, so she's always sneaking off to spend time in the woods, and she doesn't have the full story worked out. And this princess's name is Ivory, and she's 14. In the reference picture, there's also a drawing of a duck, I think, or a chick called Clover with a little leaf on their head, and then it says friend. So I'm gonna make the assumption that they're friends, and when she goes to sneak off into the woods, she makes friends with this little duck. I don't know if she can talk to animals, but if she could, that's pretty cool. The color palette is very limited, and that definitely helps with the whole soft vibe of this drawing. There's white, green, and brown for the hair. I couldn't really tell what the eye color was. If you zoom in on the picture that I got sent, there is like a grayish green color, but then there's also like the black, and I'm not sure if the eyes are meant to be black or if that's like the art style or whatever, but I just went with green because it matches the dress. I especially wish that I did the whole body drawing for this one because the dress seems really cool, and the way they shaded it and everything, I just love it, and I don't think I would be able to recreate it that well, but I sure would have liked to have a go at it. But then again, focusing on the face for this one was really nice as well. I remember that I did definitely use a reference for the face of this one. I kind of just searched up brunette girl and chose one that I would imagine Ivory looking like, and this one had freckles, and the drawing does have freckles, but they're more like highlighted freckles, so I'm not sure if that's an art style thing or if they're actually freckles, so I just put in the freckles because I think they look pretty cute, but I just kept them on the cheeks and the nose because that's where they are on the original drawing. By the way, when I say like I can't tell if something is this color or if it has freckles or something like that, it's not because of that person's art style or drawing, it's just the fact that I have a photo and I can't properly see it, you know. If I was there in real life, I would probably be able to see it really easily, but I guess it's hard to get in all the little details in a photo, so that's totally fine, and I hope you guys don't mind me making up these little details sometimes. I forgot to leave spaces in the hair for the little flowery accessories and stuff, so I just went in with the white gel pen and then outlined that after, so it's kind of messy, but I think think it still gets the right effect. Overall, I'm pretty happy with how this one turned out. The sketch was definitely better than the final result in my opinion, but that always happens, so I don't really mind it. Last but not least is a character that got sent to me called Candice, and I don't have any information about this one, but I do have this really cute reference photo, and this one was just irresistible. I love all the sweets and stuff, and I have a thing for like food on top of the head. It just looks so cute. I do it in a bit too many of my drawings. I just love plopping like a hamburger on someone's head. I just think it looks cute for some reason. The hair was a little bit difficult for me because the original is very, very stylized, and the hair just doesn't really work in my art style because I like including some of the hair strands and stuff. So I wasn't really sure how to do it and also make it look like the original. So what I did was I included the little swirl at the front because that's a very important part of it, and I also kept the bun at the back. Then for the side swoopy bit, I just kind of added another little floof, and I think it kind of makes sense. And then I just added a bunch of hair strands everywhere so it looks like hair. So drawing the style of hair turned out fine, but the thing that really got me was the coloring. I don't know why, because the original just has a simple brown hair color, maybe a slight reddish tone, but other than that it should be easy. But I chose the wrong colors completely. I don't know if you can tell in this time lapse, but I was struggling so badly. I had yellow tones, I had red tones, and it just didn't work in my opinion. Some of you might not be able to see it, but at the start I did start off with like a really yellowy colour, and it doesn't look good. Also, somehow I forgot that she had all the sweets on her head, even though that's like the main part of it, and I didn't leave enough space between this character and the one above it, so I kind of just had to ram it in there with no details whatsoever. I just kind of coloured it pink and added a lollipop in there, but other than that I definitely didn't do that part of it justice. I had a lot of space left in the page, so in the middle I wrote drawing your OCs, just so I remember that these aren't my original drawings and I can remember that this is part of a video when I look back at my sketchbook. But yeah, I did that in a cute little font. I didn't add too much detail because, as you saw in the last video, I went overboard with detail and it didn't turn out great. But anyways, I did that. It was pretty cute. I added like a half colored thing where you do like the lighter color and then a darker color on the bottom of the font. Then I added a little bubble around the letters, and then I also did a pink background just to spice it up a little bit, but the page was still looking pretty boring. So I went in with a glittery silver pen. You can't really tell, it just looks grey on camera, but anyways, I wrote the names of each character beside them. So we've got Calliope, Reyes, Ivory and Candice, and then we also have the one that has no name, so I just left that one blank. Then it was still looking pretty boring, and at first I wanted to do a different coloured square behind each character to make each one of them stand out, but I don't know, I didn't really think that would look great. Looking back, I think that would have looked better, but I just went with polka dots. I used pink because that's very prominent in Calliope's design and also Candice, and even in the no-name mermaid because of her lips and her earrings and everything. So I did pink, then I did yellow, and I also did green for Ivory at the bottom. So I definitely filled the page, but I do think I could have added some more doodles and stuff just to fill it even more because it still looks kind of empty. And now, as the video is kind of coming to a close, I just wanted to mention that I'm doing a new little thing in the description where I put a question of the day. I don't know how long this is going to last, but I think it would be fun just to add a little question in the description for you to answer in the comments. Something simple, maybe art related, maybe YouTube related, whatever, just for fun. So have a look at that and see what your answer is. Anyway, this is the final result. Thank you so much for watching till the end, and I'll see you in the next video. Bye!